Welcome to Bourbon Taste-Offs, playoff brackets of the best whiskeys. Join us in our season-long quest to find our tastiest bourbon. Hello, welcome to Bourbon Taste-Offs. This is episode number 19. Wow, they're really starting to add up. And just to help show just how far along we've come, we've done 3 monthly tasting winners, and we actually found a quarterly winner. And please follow along to find that. And we are currently on episode 19. So we'll also show that up to episode 18 is recorded. I'm your host, Todd, Josh, and Adam, and this is going to be Adam's share today. I'm sorry, Josh's share.
It's mine.
Yeah.
We look similar, I understand.
Twins, like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll be Danny DeVito.
I love how I just quickly was like, no. You're wrong, Todd. And I have this mantra, I was like, oh yeah, super chill. No.
It is not Adam's picks, it's mine.
Yeah.
It is mine.
So what can you tell us, Josh, about your picks?
What I can tell you is I've been collecting bourbon for now 4 years. And I've gone to stores and people tell me, oh, you should try this. Or I've seen cool bottles and I just go and or there's a corner display and I just pick up stuff. I probably have about 15, 20 bottles that I have never tried. So this is, hey, run home, quickly get on the road, grab 4 bottles that I was like, yeah, this would be fun. I actually I know 2 of them. Only by name because I just did a double take. I actually don't even know what the other 2 are, so I have no clue what we're taking.
Is that like a triple blind then at that point?
A triple what?
A triple blind. Nobody knows what.
Right, no one knows. We're very blind right now.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
trying
actually don't even know. We might be doing vodka here. We'll see.
Right.
Right?
Is this one clear? Is that
Right.
gin?
I'm actually picturing he's got so many bottles lined up and he's just reaching over his shoulder, grabbing a couple necks of bottles and
Right.
grabbing.
No, there's actually 2 cases and of boxes, and I was going like this and picking up. I was like, I was like, oh, okay. Put that one and then went on to the next one. So yeah, that's how I did it.
Okay, so you did see each one.
Well, yeah. I saw it, put it in a red cooler. So I saw it for about 15 seconds, put it in a red cooler, put it in the thing, and brought it over here. And then the individuals that are pouring it, I was like, I don't even want to see it. I don't even remember what it is. So
Right.
This is going to be fun.
This will be fun.
Yeah. And no promise, some of these might be like rail bourbon.
Yeah.
Well, this could make us look stupid then.
Right.
It's like, oh, this one's going to win. This one's
One's
going to
so
win.
good.
It's right.
Yeah.
Jim Beam.
It's like Blatz or Ham's
Yes.
version.
Yeah, it's a Schlitz can
Right.
of
Yes.
whiskey.
Oh man, best beer of the year is Blatz.
As long as it's not Jepson's bourbon.
Right.
Well, let's give a pick then, Josh, if you want to grab one of those. Figure out which is going to go against number 1.
Number 1 versus number 2.
Well, that's been a pretty consistent theme lately.
Yeah.
It's been going 1 to 2. Well, I always enjoy getting together with you guys and tasting some bourbons, trying to find out our season's best bourbon or whiskey, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
So, cheers, fellas. Let's get this thing going.
Cheers.
Oh, I like that smell. The nose on 1.
This is probably the rail.
If it is, I'm buying this rail.
Yeah.
$15 bourbon.
No, it's got a nice silky kind of buttery nose.
Kind of like a cream corn or like a sweet corn kind of smell.
I
to
can
me.
see that. Yeah, you can pick up the corn notes in it, but it's just it's creamy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the taste.
It's a little rye spicy, honestly.
I can see that as well. That is interesting.
It smells different than it tastes.
It's definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. You got me wondering.
I don't know what this is, man.
I'm all hesitant now because it's like you said some could be real.
It's a bottle with a label that just says whiskey. You're like, oh, that one's good.
Yeah, that's Josh's like infinity bottle.
So I remember when I went down to Louisville for the first time, bourbon tasting with my best friend. We went to a couple distilleries. We went to Willett, and then we went to Angel's Envy. And I went to the liquor store, and I was like, hey, what should I get? Asking, and they're like, oh, you should get this, you should get this. So I was just going with whoever it was at the Meijer or at the, like, we went to like 7 different stores and just asked people what to get. So some of these are from that trip.
Gotcha.
So I have no clue if they're good or not. So this could be, hey, for John down in Louisville that gave me this choice 4 years ago. Thank you.
That's interesting. I'm going to move over to 2, see what it's going to go up against.
Two is an interesting smell.
Yeah.
It's kind of medicinal. Like kind of little.
Yeah, it's definitely sharper.
Yeah.
It's like a sharper.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't it be when you compare it to something that was
Right.
how I described it as being buttery?
Right.
Like if you have any other kind of bourbon, it's going to be sharper. But then the taste comes in, and it is somewhat similar to the first one, but a little sharper.
It's taste is staying on the tongue a little bit longer for this one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a little metallic. Like maybe it's a little bit younger.
That could be.
I get like nothing on the smell. Like it is.
It's hard.
You can tell it's decently proof, but there's not a lot of smell to it.
Yeah, it's not coming through really great with the through the ethanol.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Yeah. To me, it's sharp.
Aged 1 day.
Still a bourbon.
Caramel color added.
Well, they call it white lightning, right?
Yeah. Yeah, white dog, right?
Yeah, white dog. But it could touch a new charred oak for a minute and be considered a bourbon. Yeah. There's no age statement to make it not be labeled a bourbon. But this has been aged for more than a day. I'll bet you.
We'll see.
I'll bet you. But it was just put in a barrel and rolled down a big hill.
To get unloaded. Right?
In Texas.
In Texas.
Hey, we're ready.
Right, it's good. It's got a 20-day age statement. It's fine.
It's good. Yeah.
I wonder, sometimes too, they do different stuff with like barrel sizing, you know? So like it'll age a little bit quicker in a smaller barrel because it's like more surface area content per liter of whatever. So I don't know if that's what this is, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great point. In an earlier episode, another one that was your picks, Josh, happened to be like that Hawaiian one that had that micro aging.
Right.
So.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know for me to bring, I like to, for stuff like this, I like to bring stuff I've never tried and just kind of run into it. So
That's fun.
Oh, it's a freaking blast, man.
Now that one was a smaller bottle, and you said that one of these was a smaller bottle. Did you grab the same one that you introduced in a previous episode, potentially?
Every single one of these needed to be opened.
Okay.
So they had never been opened.
Okay.
So
you had 2 of those bottles.
Going back to one, I taste the cereal.
Yeah.
Now
I'm
you
not
do?
a big cereal fan.
Okay. It is weird. It's like I don't like Budweiser.
I did not taste it initially.
And Budweiser's a rice beer.
Okay.
You know, I typically don't like rice flavored type drinks. Sake I'll do, you know, if I'm
Add hibachi and they keep spraying it at your mouth.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly. Perfect example of when I would do it. However, the nose on it was delicious. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and pick.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be against what you guys are thinking. I am not a big rice, like I said, a rice type of alcohol fan. However, I'm going to pick one over two only because the sharpness on the nose on two was a little off-putting. I thought the flavor wasn't that much different, I didn't think, from one. And just going off the nose and the fact that it wasn't that different, I chose one.
I would actually go with one for almost the exact same reasons. The sharpness on two was a little bit like not feeling it as much. And then like the cereal-y, rye kind of flavors coming out of one makes it a little more interesting, I think. So that's why I would pick one.
Awesome. Well, this is going to be unanimous. Two really didn't. There wasn't much to it. Sharp, stays in the tongue, but not much of a smell, not much of a taste for me. One, I didn't taste the cereal initially, and now I'm tasting a bunch more, so not the biggest fan of that, but it had a really good smell. Two, I think, brought out the cereal aspect
It
of
did,
one.
I think,
Oh,
like,
sure.
But
especially when you go back to back with them.
right, but for me, this is actually really easy decision of comparing these two in particular.
Right.
So yeah, one for sure.
All right, one takes it.
Two, we can just put in the pile for making old fashions or something a little bit later.
Yeah. Sometimes we do these tastings and it's like we're dealing with sometimes, and I don't know if this is the situation, but we're dealing sometimes with such good quality next to good quality. I like to compare it to you go to Costco or some other store where they show high definition TVs next to each other. You get any one of those at your home and it's like, this is the best picture ever.
Right.
But it's only because they're next to each other that you're like, no, this one's better.
Right.
You're not going to go wrong with, if you decide this is what I'm going to have tonight.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy it. You're going to be drinking it, whether it's with a cigar or just hanging out on the patio.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And then like as you get to even the really high end ones, and you're doing like, man, I can't taste the difference between a freaking $1,000 bourbon, a Pappy, and this. Like, and that's why I love this. What we're going through these taste offs, because then we're actually able to learn blindly. Oh man. Hey, this $45 bottle of Four Roses single barrel just kicks ass and takes names, and we don't need to spend $150 for a good bottle of bourbon.
Right. And a lot of times, like, I get a lot of the stuff from, like, you can start noticing, like, it's a wheated bourbon, like, blind, just by smelling it and tasting it. Or, it's like a high rye bourbon, or it's a straight rye bourbon, or, like, Woodford's got a malted bourbon out now, too. So, like, you can start picking those out. And I think that is more indicative of which ones you like than, like, oh, what's the price point you like? It's, kind of one of those situations.
Well, the price point I like is free, so
Right, that's always the best,
But we live in reality, unfortunately. All right, move over to 3.
very limited smell too.
Yep. A little more pleasant than what 2 was, though, I think.
Yeah.
There is a buttery aftertaste, I would say. Very limited first taste, buttery aftertaste. Very limited on the smell. I'd say overall a little bland, but a little buttery on the smell. Or on the aftertaste.
On the finish.
Yeah, finish, I can see that.
Yeah.
It does have kind of a weeded kind of flavor on it, like just the way it sits, like that's that sweetness that kind of comes in at the end.
Yeah, I can see that. And I've noticed that I think weeded bourbons do have just a more of a mellow, almost unperceptible, like nose.
Yeah.
It's just harder to get the notes off the nose off of weeded. But that might just be my nosing notes.
No, it's a little bit sweeter than the other two for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second taste on it brings out that sweetness.
It's really cool being able to try all these different whiskeys all the time and like kind of be like, oh, just getting surprises here and there and like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's kind of fun.
it is fun when they come out. You're kind of sometimes really surprised, and other times it's like I had a feeling it was something like that.
Right.
You know, yeah, it is. It's really a neat concept and a neat process. Like when your wife was here, and I told her, yeah, Josh did the math and figured out it's going to be 192 different bottles. And she's like, and you're coming down with one? And I'm like, yeah, we're coming down to one decision out of 192 bottles. Like, that's pretty damn awesome.
That is. I'm also not getting a lot of nose off of 4 either.
No.
Like it's very blind on it.
Right.
Yeah, it's similar to the 3.
I would agree. Less buttery, though. I think 3 is a little sweeter. Not a ton of spice, but it's
Just stuff the nose.
it's not easy to be. It's not difficult to be more spicy than 3.
Right. Mm-hmm. The flavor does sit on your back of your palate.
I caught that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to go back to 3 after having 4. So I think something might jump out at us.
It has a different flavor to it. And I don't know like what it is, whether it's a grain base or an age base thing, but it definitely has a different flavor than the other 3 we've had.
Yeah, I can see that.
Three's not bad.
That's what I mean. When you go back to it, like sometimes you allow something to be its own character, and then you go back to what you had already, and it affirms its difference.
There's definitely a flavor in 3 that I'm trying to figure out, and it's a little bit different, and it's almost. You ever have a sassafras?
Now you're making up words.
It's not. It's like
No, I've heard of sassafras.
It's like original root beer, but it's like just sassafras. It's kind of like you ever been to Ren Fair? It's like what you get there.
Oh, the Renaissance Fair?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's like you get the root beers there. It's sassafras, but that's kind of what I'm getting in 3. It's just another type of grain.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind 3, yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't decided between 3 or 4
I haven't
yet.
either.
This matchup's a lot closer than the other one was
Yeah.
for me.
Right. Well, 2, in my opinion, wasn't a lot to it, so it was an easy
Yeah.
dropout.
I kind of wish I had more to go off of. I do say that I don't want bias in any of this, so it's good that I don't know anything about them. But you brought nothing to the table as far as information.
He's like, there's 4 random bottles in this container.
Which is the point, you know. We are just
Right.
trying to come up with.
But it does wreak havoc
Yes.
on your flavor
Yeah.
profiles.
It's like because you're trying to find any kind of clue, any kind of hint
Right.
to.
I think of Miley Cyrus's song, I came in like a wrecking ball.
Yes, yeah,
I'm here to mess up your flavor.
right.
That's just your theme song, though.
It's like one's an Irish, one's a Highland Scotch.
Right.
It's like this one's Canadian.
Right?
Well, I can firmly, we're convinced that none of these are vodkas or rum, right?
Or
at
gin.
least-
So,
or
yeah,
gin.
we
So I
eliminate those.
We're narrowing
It's
it
a
down.
whiskey.
didn't mess that up.
Yes.
And you said you didn't have Caribou Crossing. I'm still struggling to pick one.
I'm just gonna. I'm ready on that one.
If you don't mind holding up for 1 second.
Not a problem. I'm the last one to figure it out. So
Yeah, this is a little challenging.
Four stays a little longer on the tongue. You said that right?
yeah,
I would agree.
yeah, like rolls into the back of your palate and then just kind of like hangs out there for a minute.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah.
Try to kick the guy off, but
Yeah.
Get off my tongue.
I have one picked.
I think I do too.
Okay.
I think I went first last time, didn't I? Can't remember.
Yeah. I would pick 3. I think it just is a little bit. Picking 3 is like a little bit more flavor profile wise. I think for me, it's a little bit sweeter, which kind of helps it, and it doesn't sit on your tongue and it leaves when you kind of want it to. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna let Josh be a tiebreaker. Just they're both to me like you're not gonna go wrong either, whichever one you pick. To me, they're both somewhat pleasant. Like I wouldn't say I would. Oh, that's all. That I would go to that all the time. However, you can sit down and drink it and be pleased with it. I kind of like having something left over though. I am a cigar smoker. I do like when things kind of hang around and sit there, especially if it's not annoying. I know in a previous episode, I'm like, it was annoying. Like, just get away. So I just picked a little bit more, aftertaste and finish on it, and I'm just picking number 4 for that reason.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad I wrote down, and I'll commit to what I wrote down. 4, I'm still waiting for that person to get off my tongue.
Yeah.
And it just, for whatever reason, it lingers longer than a lot of high proof bourbons that are high proof whiskey. I do like the sweetness of 3, the buttery taste. I'm gonna pick 3.
Well done, 3.
Good job, 3.
good job, 3.
And I think that's going to actually match up pretty well against 1.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good test. So I do agree with that. So we'll bring out 2 and 4 and talk about them. We'll talk about what we just tried, and that was number 4. And that is Johnny Drum. And it's a Kentucky bourbon. It's 100 proof. It's a private stock. It's distilled, aged, and bottled in Kentucky.
It's from Willet?
Where do you see that?
Front label.
Bardstown. Yeah, Willet Distillery.
So that was actually the first distillery that I went to
Okay.
in Kentucky.
Gotcha.
And they had a bunch of different ones to taste.
Okay.
And that's where Rowan's Creek, really fell in love with that. Noah's Mill,
I love that one.
Yeah.
which I freaking love for a high proof.
Oh, it tastes like cinnamon because of that proof.
Oh man,
Yeah.
is that phenomenal? And then so I have those, and we'll have to bring those in another day. And then they have the Willet pot still, and I used to love that, but I've kind of grown out of love with that. But I really like the Willet Rye. I didn't even remember when I pulled this that this was actually from Willet. If that tells you how long ago I bought this, and I forgot.
Right.
But yeah, I did like it.
Yeah, no, I picked it. That reminds me of Old Bardstown. Like, I have an Old Bardstown, like, estate selection, and it's the same looking bottle. It's from Willet as well.
Okay.
I don't think it's as high proof as that. It might be more in the 90s. But I'm wondering if it's
A similar.
a similar, mash bill or...
From what I remember, this was not an expensive bottle, and we can look this up a little bit later. But I don't recall it. This might be like a $30 bottle. I doubt back then when I was getting into it, I was buying $80 bottles.
Right.
So I think
Right.
And then Willet in general is a pretty reasonable distillery.
It is.
Rowan's Creek for many years was mid 30s. Noah's Mill was 40s. I think they're up a little bit from where. Even the pot still is 45, 50. The rye, the rye. I think that's in the 60s, 70s. All right,
And then
Adam, what do we got there?
Glass.
Pure Kentucky.
Pure Kentucky. It is distilled and aged, bottled in Kentucky. Small batch bourbon. I'm trying to find where it's made. It's made in Bardstown, but it's made by the Pure Kentucky Distilling Company, so they're their own thing. So that's kind of cool.
So we have 2. This is pretty cool, guys. We have 2 Bardstown bourbons,
Yeah.
and we haven't. It's we did Tennessee versus Texas in the previous episode, and the first 2 that we pushed out are 2 Kentucky. So now we have 3 states represented.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because Adam was here for our quarterly winner, and it came down to we pushed one out, we ended up pushing out the Angel's Envy.
Yeah.
But we were up against a Chestnut Farms, which is a Barton 1792 product, which was made in Bardstown. And then the other bottle was Bardstown Fusion, Series number 5. So it came down to 2 Bardstown bourbons for the first quarter.
They do make a lot of good whiskey. Though.
They do. They do. I mean, they're giving Frankfurt their run for their money.
For sure.
Well, this is awesome. So 53.5% alcohol, 107 proof. The other one was 101 proof. So a little bit stronger. We did indicate that this was sharp, stays on the tongue a little bit long.
Yeah, we did, which explains it.
Awesome. Yeah, I think this is actually, from what I remember, a pretty cheap, like $20.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
well, I'll do the research and I'll put the prices up on the podcast.
But this is kind of cool for me. These are probably 2 of the first bourbons that I bought when I first started bourbon hunting.
That is cool.
So these are both 4 years in my shelves, or like
just been sitting there.
I've never tried them. So thank you, Todd.
You kind of held on to them, I think, because of the nostalgic aspect maybe of them, where it's like, these are your first couple of bottles. You said the first trip you went on, you got like 25 bottles.
Right.
So it's like,
that's a good trip.
No kidding.
So my best friend and I, we went down to Kentucky, and our other buddy came with us with his family and their young son, and we had a minivan on the way back. My buddy had a kid, so he was paying for daycare, so he couldn't afford any bottles. Matt and I had no kids. So we literally packed the whole back of the minivan, was weighted low. Between Matt and I think we had like 70 bottles on the way back. So yeah, a lot of bottles and a lot of good memories. So
that's awesome.
Cool.
Speaking of kids, happy Father's Day tomorrow.
Oh man, my first Father's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, your first? Nice.
Yeah. So my daughter is almost 5.5 months old. So yeah, it's surreal. It's like I said, I bought my first house at 29, first child at 39. So, yeah, life is good.
Yeah.
And Adam, you too. Happy
Thanks.
Father's Day.
Yeah, my oldest is 15.
Okay,
and
awesome.
My youngest is 12. So,
man.
Very cool.
Little
To
different
you, Todd,
stage.
as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, my stepson is the oldest. He's 26. And then my biological are 24, 22, and 20.
Oh, man.
So
It's a full gambit.
So what's the best piece of advice that you can offer to a new dad with a 5-month-old?
Enjoy the little things.
Awesome.
Honestly, that would be it. They're going to drive you crazy because that's what kids do. And they're not going to listen because that's what kids do. And they're going to eat everything in the fridge and the freezer and stare at a full fridge or freezer and say, we don't have any food. So always remember the little things.
Awesome.
yeah.
What about you, Todd?
Yeah, I mean, they're little, cuddly, and just super soft for just a little while.
So really enjoy that stage.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was cool today. My daughter was getting a little tired, and I held her like this, and she just started nuzzling her head in my chest, and I was like, oh man, life is good.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it.
Yeah, it is so precious.
Cool. Well, on to the other things in life.
That's right. Let's come down to finding out which of your offerings are going to take the title this episode. You guys want to go to 1 or 3? Where did you go to?
I start out with 1.
Okay, I'll go to 1.
That hit me abruptly on the nose after going through the other ones.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it was just...
I thought we mentioned that was the buttery one.
No, 1 is the cereal one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it seems definitely... I think it's a little bit more there now. I don't know if it's just been airing out or because we've been trying other stuff, but...
Yeah.
That is one thing that I think we've highlighted that a little bit before about needing things to air out. All 4 of these were literally opened about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we would wait 2 days and then if it would taste a little different or not. I mean, that's one of the things that I like about bourbon is you can hold on to it for 6 years, open it up, and it still generally tastes pretty similar to what it was.
Right.
I know sometimes, too, if you leave them sit in a Glen for long enough, like it starts to dissipate some of the ethanol and everything else kind of comes out of it and it wakes up a little bit more. Letting it sit for longer can be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing because if there's some flavors in there that you don't like, they'll become more prevalent.
Okay.
So
Yeah, good point. No, I heard that too. Letting things age a little bit. Let some air get into it. Let it breathe a little bit.
So I have one picked. But please don't let me rush you in anything.
Oh no.
And it's actually not close for me.
It'll be interesting to see what these are.
I know. I know.
I'm looking forward because I know what one of them is, but I have no clue what it tastes like. So I'm actually wondering which one that is.
Yeah. Now I have a different taste profile, which I'll explain when I explain my pick because I have a pick as well.
So we all got something figured.
I think we all have something figured. Josh, you were the first one to mention that you kind of think you knew.
Yeah, for me, I'm not going to really speak much to the one I didn't pick, but I really do like 3. I like the finish. I like, it's a lighter. I like the sweetness.
Yeah.
So for me, it was going back to 1. It even, for me, it like really reinforced how much I like 3.
Okay. I'll go because it's a tiebreaker. When I first tried one, I was like, oh, it's like rice, and I'm not a big fan. Now, after I went from 3 back to 1 and I tasted it, I'm like, I know what it is. Butter popcorn. Oh. I am tasting butter popcorn with 1. And I took kind of a gulp of it, and I was like, that's my pick. So I'm picking 1.
Well, I'm going to take 3.
Okay.
The way the flavor profile like matures kind of as it goes across everything, and from second nosings to second tastings on everything, I think it holds up a little bit better. And 1 just seems almost too sweet for me at the moment. I don't know if that's just where we're at with the cycle today, but yeah. So like 1 just not my jam, but 3 was definitely feeling it a little bit more. So I'm gonna go 3.
All right. I'm super anxious to see what these are, so I'm gonna go grab them and we'll talk about them.
I also am curious to what they are.
It's the bottle that says whiskey.
So we're back.
So we have number 1, which Todd picked. George Dickel, Tennessee single barrel, 15-year. It's only 80 proof though, so a little bit light.
So that's like a Basil Hayden then.
Right.
15 years, and then they water it down all the way to an 80 proof.
Yeah, what a shame.
No kidding. Money grab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get 2 more cases of bottles.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't recall this being an expensive one though. It's probably $50. One of our single barrel whiskeys. Yeah, I didn't care for the taste.
No, Dickel has a very distinct flavor.
Right.
Like you can, once you know that what it is, then you taste it and other stuff and be like, that's what it is.
So out of Tennessee, Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Yeah, the episode that you guys weren't part of, it was outside, and we did a bottle and bond. We actually brought a George Dickel 13-year bottled and bond.
Okay.
And it's like a molasses, because it's 13 years compared to like 4 years that the other offerings had. And absolutely, George Dickel does have a distinct, just different flavor than most other whiskeys and bourbons. So I do definitely agree with you on that. And what did we pick as the winner here?
Number 3 would be the Billy Goat Strut. Yeah, North American whiskey. Celebrating Louisville's first racing tradition. All right. Yeah.
So we're gonna have to find out more about this.
Yeah.
I've never heard about this.
110 proof, so it's a little bit more zesty.
It drank less than 110 though, I thought.
It definitely. Less. And I did look this up a little bit.
Oh, this one says, our Billy Goat Strut North American whiskey is a tribute to the era combining a spicy rye whiskeys of Kentucky and Aramaic Canadian whiskeys from our northern friends.
So it's a blend.
That's what it sounds like. It's from Kentucky Artisan Distillery in Crestwood, Kentucky.
Okay.
So no age statement. Nose, it's saying caramel, baking spices, like a baked spice cookie. I didn't get that. And with fine leather and a sweet oak. So finish long and dry with citrus notes of lemon peel and sweet oranges. Yeah. So, when I looked at this, taste, very good mouthfeel, thick and chewy, caramel, cherries, ripe apple notes, tasted with dried pecan. So this is one that I was like, this is just crazy to me.
Right.
So before I even brought it, I made sure that it was okay. So I actually Googled this before.
Gotcha.
It is an American whiskey because it is a marriage of rye whiskey that they made at the distillery and some sourced whiskey from Canada.
Okay.
This bottle is the 110 proof that they offer for sale in their gift shop. I don't know where I got this. Kentucky Artisan Distillery in Crestwood, Kentucky. This might, you want to know what? I think I know where I bought this.
Racetrack?
No, Jefferson's Ocean is also at that Artisan Distillery.
Oh.
So I think I got this at the Jefferson Oceans.
Oh, okay.
So they're out of the Artisan Distillery. So I got this.
Gotcha.
If that tells you how, I didn't even know where I got this. So this label was
it's probably MGP.
Yeah. I don't know.
This label was created by
It's
the
Canadian
owner of the
blend,
distillery, Steve Thompson, named for the alley in Louisville, Billy Goat Strut. The legend has it in the 19th century, the people of Louisville would gather in the alley to watch Billy Goat's race. It is in honor
Nice.
of this Louisville's heritage that they named this whiskey. It is their plan to eventually make this brand 100% their own rye whiskey. Cool.
So we picked a rye Canadian blend.
Rye Canadian brand.
Well, you guys did. I picked a 15-year single barrel.
You picked the Dickel.
I picked the Dickel out of that Dickel.
What a smorgasbord, huh?
I know.
It seriously was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wide range of randomness in order to come to.
And that's the thing. It was tough to, you're picking different notes. You're picking just what your preference is and stuff. They're all definitely drinkable. You said, the price range on them is fairly low. Did you come up with a price range on
I bought it in the gift shop. I can't imagine I spent more than $30-$40 on it.
Okay.
They got a great mascot, though.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I can't wait to tell people that our winner of this episode is Billy Goat
Strut.
Yeah.
That you can only find in a gift shop at the Artisan Distillery in Kentucky.
That's
Super limited availability.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Never see it on any other shelves.
You probably won't see it on any other podcast. Awesome. Well, cheers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Josh, for bringing these options in, and cheers to the winner, Billy Goat Strut.
Here's to Billy Goat Strut.
Here's to Billy Goat
Billy
Strut.
Goat Strut.
And watching Billy Goat's race.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope we pick more Billy Goat Strut type options. Thank you so much for tuning in. Watch us next week as we try something other than Billy Goat Strut. And, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next episode.
Billy Goat Strut. I've never even heard of it.
Kidding.
Oh my god. Dude, that is a
came in like
guy.
a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Man.